He called what you have dating. You called it dating too, and neither of you meant the same thing. That's the situationship, the thing with no name. I've been sitting with this one for a while, why this version of dating feels so specifically exhausting. Why it drains differently than a regular bad relationship. And I think the reason is in the framing. A relationship is a thing two people agree to. A situationship is a thing two people don't agree to and keep doing anyway. That's not nothing, that's a structure. It just isn't the structure either of you would name out loud. So here's what I think is actually happening. A situationship isn't a relationship, it's a rehearsal. He's not learning how to love you. He's learning what he's looking for. You're not building something together. You're auditioning for a part neither of you will cast. And the cruel part, the part nobody warns you about, is that one of you knows it's a rehearsal. The other one is performing like it's opening night. Let me say what I mean by rehearsal. When you're in a situationship, you do everything a couple does. You sleep over. You meet his friends, the ones who actually matter, even. You buy the second toothbrush. You become legible to him, what your face does when you're tired, what your body does at 6 a.m., the small flinches and the small softnesses. You give him the data, all of it. And he uses that data, not to love you better. He uses it to build the spec for the woman he eventually wants. He's not learning how to be your boyfriend. He's learning what kind of boyfriend he wants to be, for someone else. Maybe I'm being unfair here. Maybe most men in situationships aren't doing this consciously. I actually think most of them aren't. But the structure of the thing, the no commitment, no title, no future version of intimacy, guarantees the learning goes one way. He gets the practice, you get the cost of being practiced on. Now the harder part, because it isn't only him rehearsing. You're rehearsing too, you just don't see it the same way. You're rehearsing what you'll accept. You're rehearsing the version of love where the person says they can't right now, and you say okay. You're rehearsing the part where you make yourself smaller, slower, more patient than you actually feel, because being patient is the only role the situationship has for you. And the longer you rehearse that part, the patient one, the chill one, the woman who doesn't ask, the more it becomes how you love. That's the second cost. He learns what he wants, you learn what you'll settle for. You're not building a relationship, you're building a tolerance. There's a thing women in situationships do where they tell themselves, I'm not in a rehearsal, I'm in a slow build. The slow build version goes like this. He's not ready yet, he had a hard last relationship. He needs time, he's been hurt, he's working on himself, he's almost there. And maybe 1 in 20 times, that's true. The other 19, he is ready, he's just not ready with you. And the way you can tell the difference, I think, is whether the thing has a shape. A real slow build has architecture, a next step, a known direction, a thing being constructed even if it's slow. A rehearsal has none of that. It just continues. Same room, same scene, same lines, no curtain. You can stay in the rehearsal for a year, 2 years. I've watched women stay for 3. And at the end of 3 years, she is not closer to the show. She is older. She is more legible to him. He is more legible to himself. She is the most studied woman he will never date. I want to be careful here. I'm not saying every undefined relationship is a rehearsal. Some of them really are slow builds. Some of them turn into the real thing. But I think the test is honest and it's small. Ask yourself, has the question of where this is going ever been asked by either of you out loud in the last 3 months? If yes, and it was answered, you're in a relationship. The answer might be we're figuring it out, but the question got asked and the question got met. If no, if the question hasn't been asked because you're scared of the answer, or because he changes the subject, or because you've both made a soft pact to leave the future alone, you're in a rehearsal. And the longer you stay, the more the staying becomes its own reason. The thing about rehearsals is they're free for the person learning, and expensive for the person being learned from. There's a version of this where I tell you what to do. Leave, ask the question, put the toothbrush back in your bag. But I don't think that's what helps. What helps, I think, is naming the thing accurately. Because once you've called it a rehearsal, once you've said the word out loud, even just to yourself, the staying changes. You're not waiting for the show anymore. You're choosing to be a rehearsal partner, with your eyes open, maybe with a clock on it. And sometimes that's a fine choice. Sometimes you have the bandwidth to be someone's practice, and you want the closeness anyway, and you know what it is. Most of the time, though, once the word rehearsal gets named, the staying stops being possible. Not because someone told you to leave, because you can't unsee it. I don't know how this dating economy got built. I have theories, the apps, the option overload, the slow rewiring of what intimacy is even supposed to look like. But I don't really know. What I do know is this. We used to call this dating without commitment. Now we just call it dating, and the words got soft on us. The word relationship used to mean something specific. Now it means whatever the less invested person says it means. And the less invested person, the one running the rehearsal, gets to keep running it as long as the more invested person keeps showing up. So maybe the only thing that ever ends a rehearsal is the actress walking off the stage. Not because she stopped loving the part, because she finally saw the script.